This is the Louie T Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome to lockdown coverage week number 4 in the National Football League. Buffalo Bills at the Atlanta Falcons. This game was epic, not from the standpoint of the score or how it played out, but just from the standpoint of you learn a lot about football teams when adversity hits. You learn a lot about football teams when they go on the road. Those are the marks of good football teams. You're going to hit adversity at some point in your season. If you're a good football team, you overcome it. You're going to have to go on the road and win. If you're a good team, you do that. And for both of these teams in this game, one hit adversity. They weren't able to overcome, but they're a good football team. Don't get it twisted. And for the other, they were able to do something they weren't able to do earlier in the season in a similar spot, go on the road against a tough opponent and win. And so you're seeing one team come of age, and you're seeing one team show just a slight chink in the armor. But it's slight. Nonetheless, both teams had opportunities to win this game, and one found a way to get it done, the other did not. And it's so ironic with the Falcons in this particular game because so many of their games have played out this exact way, where the Falcons have been leading in the game a touchdown and they lose the game by 1 or 2 points. They need a stop at the very end to preserve the victory. And somehow, some way, they were able to do it. They did it in Chicago in week 1. They did it last week in week 3 versus Detroit on the road. This was the same exact scenario for them, except they were on the other side of the spectrum. They were on the other end of the spectrum, I should say, on the other side of the coin. They were the ones needing to score, and the Bills were the one protecting and nursing a 6-point lead. A touchdown probably gets you beat with an extra point pending. And they weren't able to get it done. So it's just ironic how these things happen in this league. The Falcons have won 2 games similar fashion. This time they weren't able to get it done at home, furthermore, where they've been able to pull it off on the road twice already. For Buffalo, it seemed like they learned from their last game on the road where they weren't able to get it done against Carolina, a game that they should have won. They lost 9-3 and had every opportunity in the world to win that football game and just couldn't get it done. And they get it done this time. And so it was a good football game to watch. I learned a lot watching this game. And as we get into week 4 and into week 5, you're starting to learn about these teams and what they're made of. And I learned a lot about both of these teams watching this football game. And so we're going to talk about how the Bills improved to 3-1 to lead the AFC East. Can you believe that? They're leading the AFC East after 4 weeks at 3-1. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons dropped to 3-1 with the 23-17 loss. And now they're in a first place tie with the Carolina Panthers, who went on the road and beat New England to get to 3-1, a game that we'll break down a little bit later on. And New Orleans won, and now they're 2-2. So all of a sudden, things have gotten a lot tighter in the NFC South. And oh, by the way, Tampa Bay won as well. They're 2-1. So not a lot of margin for error in that NFC South division. Atlanta going to have to play much better if they want to win that division. But it's early to be talking division crowns and whatnot. Let's talk about this game. Before we do, though, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. We're changing the game. I want you to help us do that by simply hitting the subscribe button and becoming a member of the Louie T Network. I've got a number of social media platforms that I am a part of: Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of them down in the description, as well as a way to donate to the channel. And how you do that is through PayPal. There's the link in front of you. If you want to donate, the link is also in the description below. Go click on the link. It'll take you where you need to go. It doesn't matter how big or small. I accept all and appreciate every single donation that comes my way. And we're trying to better this channel and get to the point where we can start doing some big things and including you guys. And the easiest and most efficient way to do so is to get contributions from you, the viewers out there. And so I thank you for your donations in advance. And if you can't donate, like I've said many a times in the past, just continue to support the channel by watching, sharing, liking the videos, and just continue to support the channel as you've done to this point. Let's get to this breakdown, shall we? And we start with the Bills, who were able to get it done 23-17 in this football game. Let's start with the offensive side of football, which I thought was ultra impressive. They stuck with the run. This is the Tyrod. First of all, this is the Tyrod Taylor that I fell in love with 3 years ago under Rex Ryan. When Rex Ryan gave him an opportunity to start, when he pulled him away from the Baltimore Ravens, gave him an opportunity to start. This is the Tyrod Taylor that I fell in love with right here. The guy that's more of a game manager but makes big plays when his number is called. The guy that isn't throwing it 37 or 42 times, that guy's a loser. That guy's not going to win a ton of games. The guy that I want to see is a guy that's throwing it anywhere from 29 to 26 to 24 times a game. In this game, I think he only threw it 20 times. That's the guy that I want to see. The guy that's going to make the smart play, not going to turn it over, use his legs to pick up first downs and create havoc, extend plays like he did to Charles Clay. Come on, man. Be serious with me. That throw to Charles Clay under duress where he runs to the left, he sees a couple of Falcon defenders, knows he can't outflank them, turns back right, sees another Falcon defender coming at him, rolls to his right, steps up, off one leg, launches it 50 yards down the field in stride perfectly to Charles Clay. Come on, man. Come on. Stop. That's the Tyrod Taylor that I told you is a starting NFL quarterback in this league. Tyrod Taylor is a game-changing quarterback when he's in this type of zone. He was only 12 or 20, but it's the plays that he made with his legs, his ability to extend plays, his ability to run and pick up a first down. Outstanding. The Bills can win if Tyrod Taylor and this offense is structured in this manner. 20 carries for Shady McCoy, another 4 or 5 for Tolbert. That's a winning formula. Whether the run is working as well as you would like it to or not, with the way you're playing defense this year, you don't need to go pass happy at any point this season. You're going to beat teams by remaining balanced, remaining resilient in the run game. Shady had 20 carries for 79 yards. That's just a shade under 4, but we'll call it 4 yards a pop. You'll take it. You'll take that because it's going to allow you to remain balanced. And I just thought that Tyrod Taylor was amazing in this game. Shady was amazing. He had a big screenplay where he caught the football on like a third and 19 or something like that and picked up 20 yards, got a first down. That led to points, or it at least flipped field position if it didn't lead to points. Charles Clay was magnificent in this game. They had no answer. Simply no answer for Charles Clay in this game. He ate them alive. And so I thought the offensive line did an adequate job of giving Tyrod Taylor time. And when he didn't, there were avenues for him to scramble up the A-gap, out to the outside. I just thought all around this was a well-called and executed game by the Buffalo Bills on the offensive side of football. No turnovers. They were clean. And again, this is a league that's predicated off turnovers and protecting the football. You go on the road, you protect the football, you force a couple turnovers, you're going to have an opportunity to win. The Bills did that. That's why they came away with this win. Speaking of which, you go to the defensive side of football. This defense looks more like the defense we saw when Rex Ryan first took over that was good before he got there under defensive coordinator Jim Schwartz. This looks more like that defense. Hungry, aggressive, but not over-aggressive to the point where you're giving up big plays. There were some opportunities now. Don't get it twisted. Julio was roaming free through the secondary, and this was a bad game for Matt Ryan. We'll get to him a little bit later on. But this is an aggressive defense. They bend, but they don't break. And because I didn't think the Bills had a shot in this game. And I told you, I will always be the first to admit when I'm wrong. And I didn't think the Bills had a shot going into this game. But what I failed to realize, much like with the Cowboys game with Sean McVay, these are the intricate details that you don't think about when you're not in tune to what's going on. I wasn't in tune to this game like I should have been. You know, Sean McVay, ex-Washington Redskins offensive coordinator, that helps when you go up against the Cowboys. You know why? Because for the last 4 or 5 years, you've been scheming twice a year to game plan and beat the Dallas Cowboys on the defensive side of the football. They've got the same coaching staff. He knows what they like to do over there. So it makes it easier for him to come up with a scheme and a game plan to defeat the Dallas Cowboys. And what did they do? They went into Dallas and defeated the Dallas Cowboys. I wasn't thinking. I wasn't using my brain. And I'm better than that. And I should have known that Sean McDermott has been in Carolina for the last 6-7 years, has been game planning twice a year to beat the Atlanta Falcons, and he knows these guys like the back of his hand, and he was going to go in there, and he was going to have an airtight game plan to try to go and get a W. I should have known that. Now, could I have known Julio Jones was going to get injured? Nope. Could I have known, check, 1, 2, 1, 2, guess who? Mohamed Sanu was going to get injured? No, I couldn't have known that. Doesn't make a difference. He still was prepared. He still had his team prepared to go in there and get a dub. There were some cute blitzes in this game that Matt Ryan simply just wasn't ready for. Just wasn't ready for. The one on the fumble, he wasn't ready for that. There was one earlier in the game, they were moving the football on a 3rd down, and they sent a blitz up the middle and one off the edge. Both guys come free, and Matt Ryan basically has to eat it, tries to get rid of it at the last second. They got a punt. I mean, he had these guys schemed up well. And it's because he knows them. Same thing with Carolina, which is why they had a chance on the road against the Panthers, which will be the same reason he'll have a chance against Tampa, which is the same reason they'll have a chance versus New Orleans. He knows this whole division. He couldn't have played a better NFC division his first year in Buffalo. And he's got these boys playing, first and foremost. Damn the team that they're playing against. These guys are prepared each and every single week. And that's refreshing. Because if the Bills are going to finally break this spell, the longest drought in the NFL currently in terms of missing the playoffs, if they're going to break this, it's going to take consistency. We've seen the Bills start seasons 3-1 before. We've seen the Bills have hot streaks of football where they win and they look like a dangerous team. It's all about consistency. Said the same thing about the Rams. We've seen them start off a season well before. It's all about consistency. Can you continue to do this? Can Tyrod Taylor stay healthy? Can Shady McCoy stay healthy? You already saw Jordan Matthews go down. He's got a broken hand. He's going to miss some time. You already don't have a lot of depth at receiver. That's one of your weakest positions on the offensive side of the football. You can ill afford for Matthews to go down. Well, he's down. Don't know for how long, but he's not going to play next week. So then the question becomes, can you rely on Charles Clay? He gets injured too. He's a guy that at some point probably going to miss a game or two. So I worry about this Bills offense. But right now, they're playing sound football. This defense. Man, Tre'Davious White is balling, man. He's balling. Every week he's making an impactful play to help his team. Either put them in a position to win or help them win the game. His scoop and score might have been the most impactful play of this game. He's been huge. He's making plays. He's getting his hands on footballs. Tre'Davious White has been outstanding. I didn't think he would be that good. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought he was a triple. I didn't give him a home run. Most first-round picks are home runs. He wasn't because I didn't believe he had it. Well, he's got it because he's around the damn football. And he's been outstanding. This revamped Buffalo Bills defense, Jordan Poyer, the guy, you get the safety / corner, the Mr. Do-It-All you got from Green Bay that I absolutely love. This team, EJ Gaines, they got all of the guys out of there that they didn't believe in or they thought was dead weight, and they brought in all guys that haven't been exposed to the Bills' previous ways of doing things, and it's refreshing. When you get a bunch of guys that, hey, look, I don't know anything about y'all not making the playoffs since 1999. I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about the culture of losing here in Buffalo. I don't know anything about that. I don't know about Mario Williams going home because he doesn't feel like playing. I don't know anything about that. I just know I want to win. And that's the new culture in that locker room. And it starts with McDermott, and it's bled into the locker room, and it is a breath of fresh air. This is a different Bills team. Consistency is going to be the key for them, however. Consistency. But I must say, that was impressive to go on the road. That was impressive to go on the road and get a win like this, despite the circumstances. I don't care that they had injuries. You went out and you got this game. Made a big 3rd and 1 stop, big 4th and 1 stop to preserve the victory. That's big time. Home, away, doesn't matter. That's big time. You go to, and one more thing, your special teams. Steven House Money Hoska was exactly that, house money. Inside 56 and 55 yard field goals respectively to win the football game. 2 big, do-be crucial field goals. From 56 and 55. I know it's indoors. I don't give a damn. That's big time. That's game changing. That's game winning right there. Outstanding. All around team effort. Get you a win on the road. You force turnovers. You protect the football. You make plays on special teams. You win football games. You go to the Atlanta Falcons, who suffered their first defeat of the season. And it's unfortunate that you had the injuries that you had. I like to think that you find a way to win this game. I was impressed because remember last week I said, you know what you're missing right now? One of the things you're missing outside of the big plays, which you still haven't been able to hit thus far this season down the field. But I said, you're missing the running backs catching the football out of the backfield. Haven't seen that as much. With Kyle, those guys were eating teams alive out of the backfield. Well, out of necessity because there was no Julio. Basically, after the second quarter, and no check, 1-2, 1-2. Guess who? Mohamed Sanu. After halftime, you had no choice but to start implementing the backs out of the backfield as pass catchers. And I thought it was excellent. I thought it helped this offense along. I was disappointed you didn't get Gabriel the football more. There was no screen in there for him. You know how prolific he is on those wide receiver screens. You saw what happened last week when you got him one. That was the game winner, essentially. I thought that he was going to be more involved, not Justin Hardy, once Mohamed Sanu and Julio went down. But instead, you guys turned to Justin Hardy, and he had a couple of drops, and well, he made some plays too. I'm not going to sit here and act as if he didn't try to help, but I thought Gabriel would get more touches, and he didn't. That was disappointing. But it was nice to see the running backs catch it out of the backfield. Tevin Coleman should have scored a touchdown on that one run. I want to see him outrun that defender. Don't let him clip your ankles. Don't let him handcuff you. Don't let him shoot the cuffs. Find a way to jump over that and get in the end zone. That was a beautiful run, beautifully blocked. Got to find a way to get in the end zone there. I thought Freeman had a really good start to this game. I just thought offensively, everyone was sharp except Matt Ryan. Believe it or not, I thought this was one of his worst games of the season, and he threw 3 picks last week. But I thought this was worse than last week because he missed opportunities. Julio, that same play that you hit against Green Bay in week 2, Julio on that deep cross, that deep post across the field, open. 2 Buffalo Bills trailing him on the play. You hit him in stride. He may be able to turn that corner and get up the field and score a touchdown. He may not. It may be just like the Green Bay play where he catches it and it's a gain of 47 or a gain of 52 or a gain of 55. But it's a big-ass play. Instead, Matt misses him. Misses him by about 4 yards. It was bad. No excuse for that. On the fumble, Matt's got to be better than that. I saw 2 quarterbacks do that this week. Matt Stafford did it. Luckily, his player was aware enough to go get the football. And Matt Ryan did the same thing. Kind of just, tuck ruling, kind of thing where you want to pull it back because you see impending pressure. Ball kind of comes out and it's recovered by the defense and it's scooped and scored. That's awful. You can't give away points like that. Your defense is playing too well for you to give it up like that. And you're not doing enough on offense to give it away like that. And then to make matters worse, on that 3rd and 1, you got your running backs have been eating all game long out of the backfield. The Bills can't stop them. I'm staring my running back down out of the backfield. Tevin Coleman was wide ass open on 3rd and 1 for the first down. You just need 1 yard, bro. What you doing? What are you doing? Instead, you're going to stare down. Okay, Julio's not in the game. Mohamed Sanu's not in the game. Who are you staring down, bro? Who's the one guy you got to get it to that you're not looking at the most prolific receiver in this game, Tevin Coleman, out of the backfield, who's been winning all day long? Why? He's running a flat route right into the flats. He'll get too easy, might make the man miss and go and score a touchdown for you. But he's going to get the first down, extend the game, which is what you're trying to do at this point. Just bad. That's bad football. Bad football. And then 4th and 1, I hated the call. I hated the play call. I absolutely hated the play call. And in that situation, you got to give a receiver a chance. You got to give somebody a chance. Just throw it up. An interception, something. I don't give a damn. But at that point, you just got to give somebody a chance. And I just hated the call, though. Don't line up in 2 backs, make it look like you're running. They know you're not running. You don't have any timeouts. It's 58 seconds. They know you're not running for this first down, man. They know you're not running. You're not fooling nobody. Spread them out and find 1 guy and get this first down. I didn't like the play call at all. And I thought Sark let you down there. But in any event, let's go to the defense quickly. I thought the defense gave you a shot in this game. Thought the defense, they continue to show their vast improvement. Even though they weren't great against the run nor the pass, they weren't awful either. I mean, games like this last year, you would have given up 125 yards on the ground, and Tyrod probably would have had similar numbers, but they would have scored more points. This defense is better. That's a fact. I would have liked to have seen you get more pressure on Tyrod. I would have liked to have seen some of your fast guys chase him down in this game. That's why your defense is so fast for quarterbacks just like this. So when he decides he wants to tuck it and run, you make him pay. And y'all couldn't get to him fast enough to make him pay, to make him think twice about tucking and running. And so he was able to extend. He was able to find Charles Clay. That was a problem in this game. That was probably the biggest issue defensively for you in this game, is the fact that you could not stop Charles Clay. My goodness. 40 yards down the field, 20 yards down the field, 5 yards down the field. Charles Clay making guys miss out in space in the flats, juking 2 defenders, taking a 3-yard pass and making it 11 yards. Like, that's inexcusable. That can't happen. You know, it's one thing to get smoked down the field by a dude that's just more athletic than you. I get that. To not turn and look for the football. You're not a defensive back. I get that. But to just let him juke 2 dudes out in the flats, it's inexcusable. Charles Clay was just absolutely out of his mind in this game. And he made that Falcons defense look inferior. So that was problematic. But outside of that, you gave the team a chance. You know, you forced the Bills to kick field goals. You gave your team the football back with a chance to win and score a touchdown. And look, I say this all the time. All you can ask for is a chance to win in the 4th quarter. You had the ball 58 seconds, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, at the Buffalo Bills 8-yard line with a chance to win this football game, and you couldn't get it done. Defense did their job. It wasn't pretty, but it was gritty, and it was an effort that was good enough to get you a dub, and the offense let you down in this game. So you only surrendered 16 points because the offense gave up a fumble, scoop and score a fumble for a touchdown. So hats off to the defense. I thought you did all you could do to help this team win a game, and they let you down in this game. So, Bills, great win. Great win on the road against a previously undefeated Atlanta Falcons team. Should have known better. Should have known that Sean McDermott would have something for the Falcons stashed away, because he knows those boys. This was sort of like indirect family business. These ain't your first cousins, but because of the direct knowledge of Sean McDermott, these are like your third cousins removed. They know you. And, y'all friends on Facebook. Y'all don't really talk, but you're friends on Facebook because y'all know y'all family. But y'all don't really speak that often. But y'all know of each other. That's the kind of family business this was. It was indirect family business, and he was able to get it done, man. It's impressive. It was impressive. Let's get to some comments, if there are any out there. Buffalo pregame says, you said the Bills had no chance in Atlanta, so are you a believer yet in the Bills? I am not a believer yet. I am a believer that this is a better football team than I thought they were. I'm not a believer in this Bills team quite yet because I know the history of the Buffalo Bills. I know that the Buffalo Bills have started out seasons well, have not finished them well. I know the Buffalo Bills can beat the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta and then go home and lose to the Miami Dolphins. And I've seen them do this before. The real test will be when you play the Patriots. Can you beat the Patriots? Because if you don't beat the Patriots, you're not going to win this division. Point blank, end of discussion. You've beaten them in the past, but the last couple of years, they've had your number, home and away. There was a time when I knew I could count on the Bills to beat the Patriots at least once. That's not the case anymore. So I won't be a believer until you beat the Patriots. And everybody's doing it. Everybody's beating the Patriots these days. Why can't you? But that's why you need to beat the Patriots, because now they're vulnerable. So you need to be able to beat them. So when I see you beat them, I'll believe then. Then and only then. But this is a big win. No doubt about it. Joe Sharp says, talk about Julio going out. That changed the game, but he was in the whole first quarter and the Falcons didn't score. There are opportunities. I already told you Matt Ryan was not sharp. I thought this was his worst game of the season. He missed Julio twice in this game. That one, though, across the field where he had Julio on a deep one, I need it. I need it. You want to win against a good defense, I need that one. You don't get those opportunities very often against good defenses. They don't have defensive breakdowns. They don't allow guys to get behind them very often. I need that one. You can't miss that one. The elite quarterbacks don't miss. Ben Roethlisberger has been missing deep balls this year. Matt Ryan missed one. Those guys aren't supposed to miss. Those are the elite quarterbacks. They're not supposed to miss those ones. That's what separates you from Alex Smith, who, coincidentally enough, this year, he's not missing those throws. But Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Ryan are missing those types of throws. Those are the ones that win you football games. Those are the ones that separate you. If Ben Roethlisberger hits Martavis Bryant last week versus the Bears for a touchdown on the first possession, they win that football game. He missed him. They lose that football game. I'm not saying that was a one play, but again, they lost that game by 3 or by 6 in overtime. That's a touchdown. They didn't score on that possession. They punted. So it changes the whole dynamic if they score on the first possession versus the Bears on a big touchdown. It changes everything. Same thing here. You're at home, momentous play early in the game. Make the play. You didn't make the play. But I'm not going to harp on the injuries too much because, like I said, in week 2, when the Packers had a ton of injuries, and I can't state this enough, and it's so ironic that it happened to you in this game so that you can see what injuries do to your football team when they are key injuries. Don't nobody want to hear about your right tackle, Ryan Schrader, going out. Don't nobody care about that. Put the next tackle in and keep it moving, right? But what happens when your number 1 receiver and your number 2 receiver go down, which is what happened to the Packers in that game versus you? They lost Jordy Nelson in that game. They lost Randall Cobb in that game. Randall Cobb didn't play the following week. Jordy Nelson came back the following week, but they didn't have Randall Cobb. They lost both of their receivers. They didn't have either one of their starting tackles in that game. They lost their best defensive player on the first possession along with Jordy Nelson. And yet, y'all didn't want to hear that. So I'm not going to sit here and harp on the loss of Julio. Or check 1 2 1 2. Guess who? Mohamed Sanu, because even without them, you had chances in this game. You had chances. But I don't want to hear any Falcons fans talk about injuries because you didn't want to hear it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Camden Dorian says, keep up the fantastic work on the National Football League, and I definitely will, Cannon. You keep checking me out, man. I appreciate it. Blackbird Blitz says, the Falcons giving up J.D. McKissick in lieu of Nick Williams cost us this week. I like Nick Williams, but Nick tips the ball for another pick while McKissick helps Seattle win the game. Nick had a big catch on a 4th down, though. Don't forget about that. You know, Matt Ryan threw it to him. Nick does tip the football. Nick is an average receiver. J.D. McKissick looked damn good. But Nick caught the football on 4th and 4 when you had to have it. So it is what it is. Camden Dorian says, they made Clay look like the second coming of Dallas Clark. Charles Clay was eating those boys, man. I didn't understand. And Charles Clay is a good tight end. Don't get it twisted. Charles Clay can do that. But I just didn't expect this fast-flowing, physical Atlanta Falcons defense to allow Charles Clay is a good athlete. He's not the best tight end, not the best athlete at the tight end position in this league. I didn't expect them to make him look as fast as he did. So, I don't know. It is what it is, man. Charles Clay is a damn good tight end, and he can do that. And he took over this game, and he made big plays. So, it is what it is. And you definitely missed Vic Beasley. You know, that would have helped a lot having him as a spy. But, again, injuries, they do that. Next man up, you know. Saw Tack McKinley almost get home a couple times, but he just missed out. And it is what it is. Y'all got enough team speed, though, that y'all could have put somebody else there as a spy and kept up with Tyrod. He just was able to elude guys and extend plays and make plays. And he made some just terrific throws, man. I mean, hats off to the Bills for going in there and finding a way to win. They did. And that's what good teams do. And this Bills team is a lot better than I gave them credit for, man. I'm looking for big things from them this year. You know, and what we've seen over the last couple of years is first-year head coaches that go in and change the culture can take their team to the playoffs. We saw Adam Gase do it in Miami last year. Nobody thought the Dolphins were going to the playoffs last year. Adam Gase goes in there, changes the culture. They win 10 games, and they go to the playoffs. The Bills might be that team this year. We'll see. But in any event, that's going to do it for Bills, Falcons. Bills go into Atlanta and defeat the previously undefeated Atlanta Falcons 23-17. Get a stop on 4th and 1 to preserve the victory late in this ball game. Played huge, made some big plays defensively. Huge kicks by their new place kicker, Steven House Money Hoshka. 56 and 55-yard field goals in the 4th quarter were the difference in this game. Big win on the road for the Bills as they go to 3-1 on the season. Falcons dropped to 3-1, and now they're in a first-place tie with the Carolina Panthers in the NFC South. Meanwhile, the Buffalo Bills, don't look now, first place all by their lonesome in the AFC East Division at 3-1 with the 2-2 Jets. Who would have guessed? And the 2-2 New England Patriots trailing them in this division. That's why you gotta love the National Football League. You think you know, but you have no idea. I say that all the time. These last 2 weeks have proven that fact solidly. That you think you know, but you have no idea. I think I know. I have no idea what the hell is going on from week to week. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here on the Louie T Network. I thank you for joining me for lockdown coverage. Plenty more to come. We got a bunch more to come, including Texans and Titans next. Woo! That one got out of hand quickly. And we've also got Vikings at home versus the Detroit Lions. The Vikings lose the game and lose a huge part of their team in that loss as well. We'll get to all of that and more as lockdown coverage continues to roll on. I'll see you a little bit later on. As a matter of fact, I'll see you in about 5 minutes. Have a good one. Stay tuned.